Earlier, you called McGilded a monster. A man who uses wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder.
Sounds familiar.
But tragic irony. What you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw, and despise so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have.
Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial.
I'll say.
However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon? He's been restrained, my lord, and is being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Winterbank and the stealing of government secrets. Very good.
Then he gets set on fire.
And you, Inspector, regrettably, you'll have to face charges yourself. Yes, my lord, of course.
Transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. The fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. Crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable.
Oh, shit, I didn't see that.
You didn't say anything, it was just a ...
Oh, okay. Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Yeah?
It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, sir. Garadiv Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now. The last push, the final call, the finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts. I don't know why his voice turned into, like, radio guy, but whatever.
Yeah? Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decisions to the court.
Not guilty.
Guilty!
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
If they had just said guilty anyway.
I mean, yeah, you're trying to be allowed to do that.
That's the stuff. I'm off the hook.
Finally, Reno! You finally managed to do it! Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there. Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world.
Miss Lestrade, I am not finished with you yet.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider, 2 months ago, in my courtroom no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Winterbank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGillen's property, it seems.
I never done nothing of the sort.
Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGillen's coat in your cell yesterday or anything. Aw, just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening.
And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when played together, the music box disc contained a message in Morse code was, well, suddenly most unexpected revelation, counsel.
Quite so, my lord. Prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. Propose a toast. Are you even old enough to drink? Demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom. Very sorry about that. It was the only way I could get Inspector Gregson to admit to what he'd done, so... Isn't that... If I may say something on that point... about the sounds produced by the music box before. Do you wonder... that was really Morse code at all? What? do you say, madam? Well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much of the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Goodness, man, unhealthy level of obsession one feels.
I must say that in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs. Nothing more than that. A meaningless, serious.
Yeah.
Literally unplayable.
That's literally unplayable.
Two different tones. What?
Why didn't you say this earlier?
Can that really be? Wasn't Morse code at all? After all? My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again.
Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you those discs contain ministerial secrets, sunshine?
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. No McGill is inspired to trade national secrets with our enemies. Secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. The man has admitted to his crimes. We have no need to pursue the matter further.
God, come on. Please stop.
It's really going to bother me.
Just let go. Please. I need to go eat. Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, my lord.
That which you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing.
Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, grim catalogue of depravity.
An appalling experience to befall any child.
Come on, it ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums.
I beg your pardon?
If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes.
Gina.
But, look, I reckon I'll work something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want to change it, you gotta start at home. You gotta change how you are yourself.
Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I greatly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom with her presence again.
Gonna be in the jury the next game, isn't she?
With regard to the murder of Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of the pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty.
Buddy.
Fireworks!
Yay.
Let's go!
Yeah, fireworks. Woo. Set the building on fire, woo! God.
How'd you get a firework in there?
How?
Don't
God.
question
When the
these
fuck
things.
did you get that?
That is all. Court is adjourned. Thank God.
They were court provided.
Oh God, there's an ending, no!
Reddit.
Fuck! Ah, credits, no!
Have a cape again.
Listen, I'm not thrilled either. I didn't want this to run this long. I wanted to get food. I wanted to hang out with Josh after.
On a personal note, I must say you surprised me, my Far Eastern friend. He's no longer Nipponese. Oh. Despite being a Nipponese. Oh. You saw through the pretense into the malice that festered within that Englishman. At the same time, saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. From the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan. All human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. Lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom. You did? I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago. It reminded me. Of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew, try to understand. You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Well, Well, you may ask. I did. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not.
We need a sequel hook, after all.
Alright, then I'll wait for that day, if I must. Sip. He didn't open his mouth. Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, in my retirement from service 5 years ago, gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again.
Yeah. Alright. Oh god.
It's done. It's over at last. But... where's Iris disappeared to?
Ah! Oh.
It's my Congratulations, Gina! I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent.
Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me, right up to the end. You're as odd as your name.
What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I?
No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean. Properly.
That's awful.
I've figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. But that's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down.
Yes, I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. Betrayal left a big scar. Now though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting on someone else is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. But when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I need to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson.
Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though.
I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure.
For crying out loud, pack it in! But, I suppose, I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright.
Thanks. You're dead. Shut up.
This is the way I see it, Ryunosuke. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself.
After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Azuma, am I living up to your expectations and turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be?
Pardon the
I knew it was
interruption.
him.
But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow?
That voice!
It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Yes, it was me all along, I would have said when you finally noticed me.
Yeah.
But you people with your incessant babbling! Mr. Sholmes! Yes, it was me all along, you see? Fucking,
God!
you
Such a
prat.
idiot.
You fucking prat.
And the fucking bailiff just doesn't care.
I just think you've been taken back to the hospital, to be honest.
Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again.
Oh.
I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who is tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence.
Are very above board.
But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat at you. Omedetou, Naruhodo.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations! Some great detective you are. Great to be as cold as ice, maybe.
Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade?
While you've been having a snooze in your nice soft bed, some of us have been fighting for our lives.
Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps cold as ice, but, well, have a feel.
Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Sholmes?
And, in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Miss Lestrade. Congratulations!
What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted?
Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious.
No, Mr. Sholmes, not alarming in the slightest.
Oh, the Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's not found guilty in a trial he was working on winds up dead anyway. Is that it?
The very point I was trying to make, as exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself.
Yeah, well, don't bother me.
Oh, really?
Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's a bit like him upstairs.
Him upstairs? You mean, like God?
Yeah, him upstairs knows what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He won't have got the wrong end of the stick. There are some codes like that bog trotter what are rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another.
Well, I ain't like the McGildids of this world, so I ain't scared. I've got principles, see?
A trait in you which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade.
Oi! Just give it a rest, alright?
As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina.
Well,
There you are! Hurry! How long have you been here? Honestly, I wanted to make Andrews especially to meet you there.
Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. Wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves.
What happened?
Is this the first time they've really had... No, I guess they had a conversation in his house. It feels like they're hardly ever on screen at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff, but these dolts didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it?
Not sure, really.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day.
I'll be careful.
Ouch.
Anyway, it's such a shame. I was so hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight. But you won't be able to come, will you?
don't look like I'm going to be going nowhere for a while. You heard the judge's patter. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the bog trotter stuff, what was in lug, blah blah blah.
Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offence.
But diving ain't an offence. It's a job, innit?
I think so.
Still, it has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Otto?
No, but I was never a pickpocket.
Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I'm going to do something for all them lot like me from the slums. Something that makes a difference for them.
It's a wonderful idea, Ginny, and I'm sure you can do it. What is it?
Nothing.
Miss Gina Lestrade, the prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once.
Right. Well, looks like I'm off then.
Yes. Goodbye, Gina. Good luck.
Odo.
Yes? Ah! What was that for?
I don't know, I mean, I don't know what to say, so... Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade. Eh? On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you. Oh.
Oh, yes. It's good advice, Ginny.
Right, I see. Well... Thanks, Otto.
You shot me! Oh.
Thank you for everything what you've done. For believing in me.
Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Not killing the guy. Oh, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again.
Well, well, quite the indomitable pick purse.
I nearly forgot. I bought a paper outside. Special edition. And this trial is all over the front page. Pocket's innocence proven. Isn't it wonderful?
You could have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
No! How silly of me! But anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Not again.
What do you say, Runo? Hurley?
As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first.
Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
There you have it. People answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Right then, let's start with the good news this time. It's finally stopped. A record level of rainfall, apparently.
Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort.
Right then, what's the bad news?
Huge storm has left the seas very choppy. Channel in particular is awful. The sailing out of the Dover has been delayed by a day or more.
Wait, Dover?
Right, we head to the station immediately. We still make it in time to wave Susie off.
But... won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky.
Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo?
Mr. Sholmes?
I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole.
I don't... The Great Detective does it again!
Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles.
What?
I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary!
Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people.
Stop blackmailing everyone!
The London Victoria.
God? My God, it's
Time
still
to remember
going.
all the voices we did. That's not good.
That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated.
Mrs. Boat must be about to leave now.
Susato, how are you? Over there, look! On a convenient dock right next to us. Looks like she's reading something.
Hold it!
Mrs. Sato, wait! What are you doing?
Mr. Naruhodo? What are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, I heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see.
Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
Went well. He was acquitted.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
book you were about to throw into the sea. Your encyclopedia of British law, wasn't it?
Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now, so I was saying my final farewell.
You're saying goodbye to law? You, Susato-san.
Would I be correct in assuming it's because of the peephole, Miss Susato? I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable.
That reminds me. Where'd you even come to have this, Susie?
On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember.
Oh yes, we had a wonderful time.
Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean.
Oh, that was so much fun. I stole Runa's armband.
Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. Band's very important to me.
If it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages.
On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper mat, so I put it up my sleeve.
Really?
And then I rather forgot about it, until I found myself in Mr. Windybank's shop with it later that night.
Wouldn't that be heavy?
She has big sleeves. They're already heavy.
I see.
And then... Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right!
After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind.
Storeroom door, you mean?
Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So, you used a cat flapper mat to make the peephole in the door?
Captured in the photographic print of the shop. One of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
Indeed, it was of the first importance, that point. Precisely when the peephole was made. That information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Though naturally without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. But when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier.
Trial of Magnus McGilded.
I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windybank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing.
We were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime.
That's right, but then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door. For which a peephole would be the very thing. Only the peephole I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference. Right, yeah. But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not?
A trap? That why she did it?
So, is that where you kept it a secret, Susie? I mentioned that you made the people to anyone, not even to the police.
I know, and I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense, even. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner, with no other possible means of escape, the truth about the peephole could save him. That was my plan.
She really does think of everything. But then... Didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began?
My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she
I'm
had done
thinking
that,
yay.
it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade.
Ah.
You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with a crime scene. So Miss Susato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake, and Miss Lestrade's.
Miss Susato.
The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law.
Oh.
I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime, but the moment I allowed myself to think that is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Aiden is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that people as a way to implicate Gina. Besides, if the people inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Susato, what you did saved Gina's life.
Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo, you've saved me too from my regrets. Well, we must all be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been assured.
Yes, exactly. Though some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure.
But the revelation that the music box disc contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration.
Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
Oh, it wasn't?
There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see, a telegraph operator. She said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones.
As one would expect. After all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted. Oh, yeah.
In cipher? I see. Then we could have never hoped to understand the message anyway.
Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pi problem, I assure you.
Okay. What? Oh,
Asoki. That can't be a real word, can it? How funny.
Oh, wait, Iris, what did you just say?
Oh, I just said asogi. Does that word mean something to you?
means something. Sugi was the name of my best friend.
What?
But how? How do you know that name, Iris?
I wrote it down during the trial before. The message was playing on the music box.
He transcribed it on the fly? She really is a genius.
Well, the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. Whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. Is in English, at least.
Oh.
It suddenly occurred to me, you see. More than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added into Morse codes used in their own languages.
I don't believe it. Are you saying...
Right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. I think it's based on the Iroha panagram, isn't it?
And you mean to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message says Asugi?
I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code.
Iris, would you let me see that?
Susato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code?
Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications. Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version? Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please.
Of course!
But what can this possibly mean?
Where is that long Where is in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes? Made the color drain from Susato-san's face.
There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
The British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications.
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names.
The first is Kei Asogi.
Kazuma Asugi. Why? Why was his name on that disc?
The second is A Shin.
Shin. I don't recognize that name.
The third is T. Gureguson.
Gregson?
Ah, it would seem Tobias Gregson is the third man on the list.
What's his name doing in a secret government communication?
As well.
Uh,
And the last name...
What's the matter, Mr. Sato?
It's just so strange. So unexpected.
Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense.
The last name is J. Wilson.
What?
Oh.
Wilson?
John H.
John
Why-
H. Wilson? I mean, Daddy?
It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then after the four names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all four. And that's the end of the message, or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris.
Just can't believe it. Who would ever have thought? Those discs contain Japanese Morse code. Imagine a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names.
It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So, Daddy could be in Japan then? Where'd Susie and Runa come from?
Yeah, about that. Oh, well...
No, it's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with this name Wilson. There must be lots of J's among them.
Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. Can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. It's so strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Winterbank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave.
I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside.
We already bought the sequel.
Oh dear, the ship is going to set sail soon. I got a phone notification about it.
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan.
Really going then, Susie?
We wish you a safe passage, Miss Susato. Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best.
Susato! I'd hoped to have you always at my side. Guide me and support me.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Please, come back soon. As far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world.
I'm quite sure I'll be back before you know it.
Really, Susie?
Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill.
Promise?
About your manuscript.
Oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise.
Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, of course. The SS Buria. I was dragged out from that wardrobe still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown.
You know very well that I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy.
Susato.
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that... I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
Cat was there all along.
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will.
On game!
Whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around. After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Maybe.
Yay!
God.
Patchy. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, Mr. Sholmes?
I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently.
Huh? Oh, such a commotion on the line. All of the trains had to wait at stations.
But really, we would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Susato...
You would love defending yourself in court. Huh? It's alright. I'm perfectly happy to testify. Really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See?
Mr. Sholmes?
Yes.
Word, if you don't mind?
Why, certainly. Any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow.
Yes, I love Runo's words, and I just know he'll use one here. I know just the one he'll use here.
Really must say,
God.
yay.
I like that a
Alright.
lot.
Yeah, that's good.
I felt like the fourth case dragged a bit, and the second one actually. But all the
Yeah.
major. In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived from Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot. Though it transpired, I had ordered them all myself. So I advertised them for sale, with "used by Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case." And the money I've earned. Consulting detective work pays a pittance by comparison.
God.
Yeah. Pretty good. Obviously, sets up a lot for the second game. And I've heard the second game is considered a lot better, which this is already really good, so...
Don't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. This busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Oh, cooks is an overstatement for some dry toast and insipid coffee. You miss Susan her lovely Japanese breakfasts.
God.
How Japanese could they have been? It's not like you can get, you know,
Yeah.
all the ingredients you need, but yeah.
Love her bento boxes.
Witness, your testimony is riddled with contradictions.
Exactly! Rarely do rare Kobankois handle rare steaks themselves.
Well, I don't know, sir. His father is an innocent man.
You
Right?
promise I'm right.
Witnesses, my courtroom is no place for your petty arguments.
God.
That's me. Having delivered the Russian dancer, short Shanghai. But last night I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board.
I did nothing wrong! All I did was give Wagahai's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kittens on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair!
God.
This guy,
This fucking guy.
he yells so much.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this. He comes back in the next one.
Oh, good.
Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in the new age. I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline. Like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment.
Yeah.
This guy was obviously sus as hell.
Yeah, a little bit. The latest Ryan's magazine is out. I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I get a standing ovation. Want to hear it? Humph. Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Halation puts me to shame.
Can't believe you didn't have tea next to you in preparation for that line.
Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Joni, my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those bally stairs every day has done wonders for the dicky peg. Managing rather well with the housework, too. Got this maid business taped up, I'd say. Hope the gossiping neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own maid.
God.
See, Ben.
My Willie is back on the beat again. All thanks to Patricia.
There's nothing I enjoy more than these days than hunting or changing the gutter. Better Bobby now, looking out for Londoners. They drop her pennies and my lovely wife.
Hey, Pennies.
Oh, really? There you go.
Don't remember the voice I did for him
These
at all.
auto-progressing text sections are always so awkward
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm going to be doing time for a bit now. But Iris comes every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Sholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them.
Foreshadowing?
Mayhaps.
Her hand.
Yes, I renounce my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please.
Come on, bruv. Let the ash we used to know.
Well, we got time in here to plan the comeback and Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, right?
Three
must
your
Milk
what's
in the neighbourhood
Silver
for all it's
neighbour
worth.
for all it's worth.
That's worth. God. God, I love the Skulkin brothers. They're so
What
dumb.
was the whole deal with them mistaking Gregson as one of them?
It was just a joke. Like, they're just idiots.
Yeah. Good.
This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that's what life is all about. Naruhodo-san, I promise. Your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well.
What's you in the office?
Before she left. Dummy.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
Aw.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Alright.
Now the rest of the credits.
It? Please let that be it. What now?
It's the rest of the credits. Games
Is there
nowadays
gonna be
have
more
like hundreds-
dialogue?
No, I don't think so.
there an enemy parade?
Nah, you know, it's this whole thing. You can go if you want, Ben, if you have nothing more to say.
Alright. Yeah, I don't.
I'll show the credits for the sake of it, but yeah. Nigel
Pilkington?
I wonder if I wonder if Carl's a relation.
Samantha Bart.
Hmm?
She was in Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, okay. I thought most of this cast was unknowns.
Oh, I feel like she was at the time.
I see. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the second one. That said, there will be a little bit of a delay before I start that one on the channel, because I would prefer to build up a backlog again. We're probably going to record it pretty soon, like, you know, within the next few days we're going to start, I imagine, unless something comes up, you know, if everybody's up for it. But for you guys watching, it might be a couple months or something, but yeah. I know these haven't gotten the most views, because I was talking to somebody else about this the other day, but, you know, I imagine that most people don't care, and that of the people that do care, they either are interested in the game, but they haven't played it yet and don't want to spoil themselves, or if they have played it, the game didn't come out that long ago, the port is only 2.5 years old, so it's likely that many of them, you know, it's too soon, and they would have to wait for a while before they would want to watch it again. But, you know, the playthrough is going to be here either way, and people can always watch it later if they want. I have the kind of audience that tends to go back and watch older stuff anyway if they've missed it and they're interested. You know, I don't have to put it up at a time where people will watch it immediately necessarily. Plus, of course, I know that my stuff that doesn't have Josh in it is, you know, not as popular. But I enjoyed doing these. I enjoyed doing Ghost Trick as well. And I would be interested in doing more mystery games into the future. I have a bunch on, like, my, you know, backlog, I guess, on my bucket list that I'd like to get through. Aside from the sequel to this game, there's also the Professor Laytons that I'd like to go through with this group. And I love those games a lot, and I am pretty familiar with them, so I think a playthrough of that could be good. It would be a lot less voice acting and a lot more, like, puzzle solving together. So it'd be a bit of a change of pace in that regard. But then there's plenty of more traditional sort of, like, similar things to this, you know. I've done the Danganronpas, and I don't think I want to do them again. Like, so that's not really going to happen. But, oh, Janet Hisu. Yeah, good to see she's still involved. like the song got credited for the Russian dying message. That's good. But yeah, so aside from those, let's see, there's like Zero Escape, there's the Famicom Detective Club games that got ported to Switch. I'm interested in trying those sometime, potentially. We could always do those. There was something on Steam that I was gifted.
You mean by me?
I don't think you gifted a mystery game, did... Oh, well, okay. Well, you did get me Steins
right,
Gate. You got me Steins Gate. I wouldn't really count that. I mean, I guess it's kind of a mystery game. It's a visual novel. It's not really a game. There's like there's pretty much no gameplay in Steins Gate from what I'm aware. I know that there's some like stuff you have to do, but yeah. Let's see. What was it called? Paranormacite: The Seven Mysteries of Honjo. Yes, I was gifted that game, and I enjoyed it. So. Well, I enjoy it. I'm interested in it, is what I'm trying to say. I have not played it. I know nothing about it. Let's see, I could have sworn there was some other mystery games on here that I was... I think I've owned the Zero Escape things for, like... Yeah, I've owned Zero Escape for, like, years. And I just haven't touched it yet. All three of those games.
But do you have them with the English dub? Which was originally America only.
I was not aware of that. I assume the Steam ports have the dub, yeah.
Should hope so.
It was nice to be able to record this on console as well. Unfortunately, most of the other mystery games I have are on Steam, which means I'm going to have to be sitting a little less comfortably in my chair and facing directly my laptop and all that, and clicking to progress, which I prefer using a controller for these, but
It is what it is. I guess we've reached the end of the credits then. Look forward to, again, the sequel to this, not too long from now. And then, more things after
Who's
that.
Finn? That's not a character.
Alright. If the game has nothing else to throw at me, then... well, that is certainly a nice
Achievements.
image, but... Yep. Can the achievement come off screen, please?
And then there's another 20 minutes of dialogue for no reason.
Ooh. Nice. Nice title screen.
Yay.
Alright. Well, thanks for watching.
Good.
Yes. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.